All right, this is day 18 of me picking an album from this filter, working out to it, and giving my thoughts on it. This is a series I've been doing called Muscle Music, and I only do albums I've never listened to before, so let's see what we get. Jimi Hendrix, Axis Bold as Love, all right. All right, we just finished up at the gym. We did our pole day today, so here are my thoughts on Axis Bold as Love by Jimi Hendrix. So Jimi Hendrix is obviously a legend in his own right. It's super unfortunate that we lost him at such a young age. This was his second album he released, I believe, in 67. The first one also released in 67 was Are You Experienced, which had a lot more like single power in my opinion, but still just as legendary. The only track I've heard off of this album to begin with was Spanish Castle Magic, which is a fantastic track. That was on the Guitar Hero, I want to say 1 list, and I just played the shit out of that game, so I obviously have that track in very high regard. And the rest of the album sounds pretty great as well. I mean, it's a great mix of like psychedelic music as well as like pop-ish rock music. It kind of bounces back and forth in between that. I was very surprised to hear like the pop appeal of this album. It's pretty accessible at points. Obviously it starts pretty not like that. So the album starts with the track EXP, which begins with like this British radio host who's bringing on a guest who's about to talk about aliens, and the host is already pretty skeptical. And then the guest is like, oh, well, I guess I gotta be going then if you think I'm crazy. And then the track just kind of devolves into this weird psychedelic, just guitar pedal craziness. It's a really interesting track to start off with, but yeah, I didn't think it would get that experimental like right off the bat. But then right after that, you have the track Up From the Skies, which is like this bluesy, like swing-ish song. It was such a weird like departure from what I was expecting, and it just kind of yeah, it was really strange to hear. But then you have a great run of tracks through Spanish Castle Magic all the way through Little Wing, which are both two of the bigger like tracks to come out of this. It's a little dad rockish in a sense, but just the way that that Jimi Hendrix goes about songwriting and craftsmanship and performing, it's very much ahead of this time, because this album came out in 1967, I believe, and a lot of what they were doing is almost the shape of like rock to come in like the 70s and 80s. But yeah, Jimi Hendrix was an iconoclast. Rest in peace. We lost him too soon. If I had to do my favorite tracks, it would probably have to be Spanish Castle Magic, Wait Until Tomorrow, as well as One Rainy Wish. But yeah, I think it was a great album. Pretty decent at the gym. Not too great, but definitely better than a fair bit of albums would be, especially on this kind of list. If I have to give a rating, I'd say probably a mid to high 7. I think I'm sitting right about there for this. Leave me some album requests in the comments, unless this guy gets banned. Goodbye!